this guy's garage. Like and subscribe.
Presenting petitions. The Honourable Member for Mission-Mascouy, Fraser Canyon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise to present two petitions. I made a commitment to my constituents in Mission-Mascouy, Fraser Canyon that I would present petitions even when I don't agree with them. This is clearly the case with the first one. And it states, whereas, with current polling showing only 1 in 5 Canadians...
I understand where the member is going to go with the point of order, and I was going to remind the member at the end of his statement that all members, when they're presenting petitions, should not indicate that they're in favour or against a motion, but they should just a petition, but just present a petition to the House.
Well, duly noted, and thanks for covering me, Mr. Speaker. So, whereas with current polling showing only 1 in 5 Canadians support the monarchy, Canadians no longer support the monarchy and are wishing to abolish the monarchy. Canadians are ready to elect our own head of state and recommend the new office be termed Chancellor of Canada. Canadians would save on paying for residence in every province and territory, as they have a lieutenant governor that taxpayers pay for. All treaties with our Indigenous people would be automatically transferred to this new office. Canadians seek to have the new office act as a proper check and balance and not just a rubber stamp. And Canadians ask that our provinces and territories work with a cooperative and open and fair process to prevent provinces from hijacking. Therefore, the undersigned citizens of Canada ask for the abolition of the Canadian monarchy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Whereas last spring, this government made legislative changes to allow Health Canada to regulate natural health supplements, the same as the therapeutic synthetic drugs, which will mean substantial new fees on the import, manufacturing, and sale of things like vitamins, protein powders, and even fluoride-free toothpaste. Constituents in my riding who rely on natural health products daily are concerned with these changes and what will result from these products being removed from Canadian store shelves. They are calling on the government to stop these changes and to work with the industry on issues such as labeling and fees. Save our supplements, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member from Kingston and the Islands.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I actually have 3 petitions to present today. I'll do them as quickly as possible. The first one is on the subject of the environment, and it draws to the attention of the House that the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has warned us repeatedly that rising temperatures over the next 2 decades will bring widespread devastation and extreme weather. They've also referenced the 2021 federal government commitment to cap and cut emissions from the oil and gas sector to achieve net zero by 2050. And they are calling upon the government of Canada to immediately move forward with bold emissions caps for the oil and gas sector that are comprehensive in scope and realistic in achieving those targets. The second petition I have, Mr. Speaker, has to do with petitions that have been created in my community, specifically with respect to the National School Food Program. The petitioners are calling to the attention of the House and indeed the government that Canada is the only G7 country without a national school food program, and that Canada should move immediately and quickly in developing such a program. Under the individuals who have signed this petition are specifically from the Glen Burnie public school community, and they are calling upon the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Families, Children and Social Development, and the Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food to prioritize funding for a national school food program through Budget 2024 for implementation in the fall of 2024. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I have a petition here that has to actually do with Joyceville Institution. It's not a federal prison within my riding. It's actually just in the neighboring riding of Lanark, Frontenac, and Kingston. But this petition is coming with respect to an abattoir at that Joyceville institution. The people that have signed this are beef farmers and supporters of the beef farming community, and they are drawing to the attention of the government that some beef farmers must wait up to 6 to 9 months, in many cases up to a year, to advance to have their cattle processed at provincial facilities. The abattoir located at Joyceville Institution has not been utilized for a couple years. That the closure of that abattoir has put even more strain on the processing of abattoirs, negatively impacting processing wait times for beef farmers in Lanark, Frontenac counties. and that the closure has had negative economic impacts on neighboring businesses and restaurants that have relied on products from the abattoir. And therefore, they are calling on the Government of Canada to explore all options to ensure that the abattoir located at Joyceville Institution is reopened to address the issues noted above. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Hear, hear.
The Honourable, presenting petitions, the Honourable Member from Brampton North.
It gives me great pleasure to present this petition today on behalf of 24,349 signatories. This petition requests an extension of the postgraduate work permit. The rationale given is that public policies recently have given 18-month extensions, and based off of that, this petitioner requests that the 3-year postgraduate work permit time be turned into 5 years, and the 1-year postgraduate work permit time be extended to 2 years. The reasoning for that is that many students find themselves that it takes some time to find a job in their sector, and making sure that they get the skills they need. We have shortages of workers in the trades, and a lot of trades programs require 4 years of experience in order to get licensed. Also, nurses participating in 1-year certification programs. We know there's a shortage of nurses in our country, and therefore providing them ample opportunity to be able to work and serve Canadians would do Canadians well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member from Saanich Gulf Islands.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. So tempting to tell the story of the time the honourable member from Skeena-Bulkley Valley managed to dump a dead salmon on Brian Mulroney's desk, but I have to skip over that. But the petition is about salmon and the importance of protecting wild salmon. And the petitioners are calling on the government to institute all 75 recommendations of the Cohen inquiry into salmon aquaculture and move to recognize the threat to wild salmon represented by the climate crisis and warming waters, threatening the sustainability of Fraser River sockeye. On behalf of petitioners in Saanich Gulf Islands, I'm honored to present this petition. Thank you.
And the Honourable Member from Kitchener Centre.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's an honor to rise to present a petition that notes, whereas we are Mennonites, Anabaptists, and other peace-seeking Christians whose shared values compel us to follow Jesus Christ's model of active peacemaking. We were shocked and horrified by Hamas' brutal attack against Israeli civilians on October 7th, and whereas we are heartbroken and horrified by Israel's continuing attacks on Palestinian civilians that have resulted in tens of thousands of deaths, including thousands of children. We, the undersigned, Mennonites, Anabaptists, and Christians, citizens or residents of Canada, call upon the Government of Canada to, 1, immediately help broker a substantial, permanent, sustained ceasefire, 2, help negotiate the release of all hostages, 3, halt arms sales to Israel and work with partners to end illegal arms transfers to Hamas, and 4, advocate for diplomacy and a political solution that ends the occupation of Palestine and that builds towards dignity for all Israelis and Palestinians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.